I met him like multiple times.
Like Corey Robinson.
Yeah, no, I worked with David Jr., but I met Corey a bunch too. Yeah.
No stinking way. Doing what?
I was at my old job, just working sports software, you know.
And that's all you're allowed to know.
I mean, that's still extra classified right now.
Yeah, he just went corporate on you, J Mike.
I mean, that was legitimately Robert Elizabeth Koch, like no phony at all, just straight Robert.
Yeah, gotta be careful what I say. You never know.
Hun, you forgot to cut the crust off my pimento cheese sandwich. Come on.
You do have to be careful with what you say when I go live at any given time. And I did it. I did it to you, Bobby. I almost got you wrecked. I almost got you unfriended by David Robinson. It's close. I did it for J Mike. The only one on this podcast who deserves to be friends with that man is probably J Mike. Poor Spurs fan.
Poor. Come, man, listen to
Hey, all right. And we're oh my gosh, bro. We are extra live.
In a minute.
What do you want to say?
We back.
Oh, I thought you said wait a minute. You said it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. No, yeah. You know, I hope has the egg timer gone off in your kitchen? I mean, my goodness, you're right, J Mike. But we are live. It is Tuesday. It is the open bar. It is 2019. It is sort of 9:30 Eastern, and we are here in your ears, possibly with beers, possibly getting weird, and
down for all that.
And J Mike, I'm gonna hand it off to you,
bro. To everyone that is back with us, the chat already lit all the way up. Incredibly excited to see everyone. Incredibly excited to talk with everyone. Obviously, if you're listening to this in podcast form, welcome back. The bar is open, and we are excited. Obviously, a couple of folks that are brand new to the bar, but we'll start with the face that you probably already know. Bobby Koch, fresh off of his, what do you say, a jungle experience, sir? How's the good life?
It's going good. I survived the night. For those who don't know, I got bitten while trekking through a rainforest, jungle, whatever you want to call it. And I was worried. My family was not worried. It's just a mosquito. I might have overreacted, but I'm alive and it's all good. Happy to be back.
I just want to know that you did not bring exactly. I just want to know that you did not bring West Nile back with you. That's really all I need to know.
Here's the thing: the TSA is kind of on a shutdown right now, so who knows what I brought back with me?
You know what, man? I can't deal with that. Moving on. Should have been ladies first. Brand new to the bar. Yeah, I'm a mess. Y'all forgive me. Brand new to the bar. Welcoming the wonderful, the talented, the new friend of the show that, and shout out to Tim Torch, who introduced us, Miss Rebecca Jones, Bronco Becca in the building. How's the good life?
So great. I'm happy to be on here with you guys. I know we've been planning this for a while, so it finally came together.
You know what? This feels like the blind date that we've been waiting for. It was a case where for the longest we weren't sure if you really like if you didn't want to let us down easy, but you're actually here, so we appreciate it very much. And sipping out of a Joe Ingles cup. You want to shout that out real fast?
Yes, shout out to Joe Ingles.
Thanks for listening, Joe.
J Mike, worst idea ever for a blind date. You bring her on, she expects this 2-on-1 blind date, and then you just throw in 2 more dudes. You doubled down, bro.
And log out. All right, that was fun. Last but not least, also first time to the bar, but another Grab Bag Fantasy alumni.
Oh shit.
Hey,
I'm not even giving the first name. I don't even know if people know your first name, so I won't even say that. 2 Drink from the Super Flexible Podcast. What's cracking?
What's up, fellas? I'm excited to be here, and I'm 3 beers deep now. I only showed you the first one, but I had to drink a couple getting ready while my computer was effing up. So let's do it.
I knew you would abide by the handle, bro. Immediately, you were already in. I appreciate that.
That's what I do. And I feel like there's at least a few people not drinking, so I'm drinking for everybody. There's 5. I'm not good at counting.
But
you know your minimums, and that's all you need.
Yep.
And that is wildly important. Becca, I'm not sure if you're in the YouTube chat, but lots of folks are very excited to see you here. One of which, and Abe Salinas. Not sure if you know who that is, but
hi.
he says, "Hey Becca, Gobert isn't top 10. He just needed you to know that."
Why would he say that? Tell him to take it back. Take it back.
Well, I mean, now an NBA pod. This is a Utah Jazz defense pod.
He's watching, so you can tell him this.
Abe, we settled this earlier today on Twitter. He is a top 10 player, and that guy we were arguing with said he's like top 12. So pretty much I'm right. That's all you need to know.
Like top 12 on the Jazz? I mean, don't they roster 12 players? That's pretty good. I guess that's good.
Top 1 on the Jazz.
You don't like Donovan? Donovan's got to be your number one.
I love Donovan.
Size matters.
Rudy like is big on both ends of the court. Good at offense and defense. He's elite defensive. I don't know if you know this, but he actually won Defensive Player of the Year last year. That means best defensive player in the NBA.
Oh, dropping bars.
Can't argue that.
You can't argue with that. You can't.
Becca, you're not passionate about the Jazz, are you? I'm just
not at all.
Just checking. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe.
Just curious.
Maybe.
She's a Clippers fan.
She's really gonna log out. It's gonna be a real sad day. The chat is lit all the way up. I feel like we can't go much further, Gabe, with at least shouting out folks, and then I guess we can finally maybe get into football, perhaps. Jake,
do as much distracting as you can, because I have no idea what I want to talk about.
Rebecca's got the sheet, so we're cool.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
When in doubt, fall back on Becca's sheet.
Utah Jazz, here we come.
Yes.
John Stockton, what up? In the no, I'm just kidding. Not in the chat. Jake Anderson, what's cracking? Aaron B, what's cracking? Jesse Reeves is also in the building. He was very excited to see us.
Hi, Jesse.
Jake actually said he wanted to talk about how stupid Addison is. I presume he's talking about Addison Hayes.
I like it. Let's do it.
He said Bobby needs to weigh in on this.
It's
Bobby?
just because Addison was calling Josh Rosen trash in my DMs, and then I called him out with a subtweet, and then just decided to tag him in my subtweet.
Wait,
that's not a subtweet.
Well, no. Initially, I subtweeted him, and then someone was like, "I don't see that many people being down on Rosens," and I was like,
"That was me."
This is pretty much that was Jason. And I was like, "This is pretty much in direct response to Addison Hayes calling him trash."
It was like a sneak diss that just turned into like an all-out diss. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
I tried to egg it on as much as possible, and then I just liked everything. I was like, let's keep it going. Just keep fighting. Just keep fighting. I'm in.
It's like a diss track that starts out with just the dude talking mad craziness, but not saying the name. And then the last verse is nothing but his name.
I will say I disagree with Addison a lot, but we always do it respectfully. So shout out to Addison for taking it like a champ.
That's what's up. Outhouse is in the house. What's up, Russ?
Hey, that's your guy, Bobby.
Russ, I was talking about.
Did I just expose that, or
I was talking about our bromance before the show in secret, and now Gabe just outed us out to the world. So
well, I was kind of mad that you got the one up on the David Robinson thing. So now I need you to take the L on
the fantasy folk call. I'm not sure how to say that correctly. I'm sure I'm messing that up. My bad. What's cracking? I think he's also here for Becca. His first thing was, "What up, guys? I don't know, Bobby. Where's Becca?" Well, apparently, Becca, you are bringing all the boys to the yard. This is great. Dwight Peebles, what's cracking? And Abe. We already shouted out Abe. D-Bro's in the building. Spoonie's in the building. Brandon Rojas is in the building. This is great. I'm excited for this. And D-Bro says, Ebron, Dynasty tight end 1. in Addison's heart.
Oh, that's
Good
okay.
grief, Eric Ebron.
I'm happy. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, good for Eric Ebron. Speaking of, do you guys buy Eric Ebron moving forward in this Colts offense?
What is he actually? Is he like priced at tight end 3 probably or something? I bet he's a top 5 guy.
Yeah.
In Dynasty.
5 sounds about right.
ADP goes.
I mean,
obviously you got Kelsey and Ertz up top, and then I'd imagine Kittle. I bet Kittle's that top 3 tier there, and then I bet it breaks off into the Ebron, Joku, and Howard and whatnot.
Yeah, the position's not great, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him up there.
Yeah. No, but to answer your question, J Mike, no, I don't care about tight ends year to year. I don't. I do not buy. Do you understand how cheap he was to acquire this offseason? I mean, he was completely forgotten in Detroit, and people were all on. They couldn't decide, I guess, on the Jack Doyle versus Ebron. I think people were kind of anticipating 2 top 10 tight ends. Turned out to just be one amazing tight end. So I don't know. I think people are going to hit that recency bias button and smash on him next year. But no thanks, J Mike.
I'm just curious because at this point for January ADP on DLF, he's looking at tight end 7 with those top 3 guys in front of him: Kelsey, Ertz, and Kittle, Ingram, OJ Howard, David Njoku. Do you like Ebron ahead of any of those guys?
No.
Jason, you look like you want to.
I do.
Pass.
Okay, where do you like him at, Becca? In that
5.
pecking order, 5.
Yeah, I think Ingram in front of him, but more than Howard. I mean, if he's gonna stay with Luck, I think they'll keep building that chemistry, and he could easily finish that high again.
Are we worried about Howard coming off the knee plus the Bruce Arians offense that doesn't use a tight end? That's the only. I mean, he's never had one like Howard, really, but still, he's wanting Deshaun Jackson to stay. We still got Godwin Evans, plus whatever running back they're bringing in because that's not staying.
Jameis doesn't care what the coach thinks. He likes targeting the tight end. Him and Brait.
That doesn't help Howard on Brait's side, though.
I will say to Becca's defense, Andrew Luck is possibly the only one that I have a bigger bromance with than Russ. So clearly, Eric Ebron's in for great things.
Did you meet his son at work?
I just heard Andrew Luck chuckle somewhere.
Doyle is trash, so I'll take Ebron over Howard just barely.
But we did see that Jack Doyle's mere presence last year brought goodness, right? So does that scare you guys at all off of Ebron?
But Ebron didn't do it with crazy numbers. He did it on efficiency. So if we can get just a little uptick there, I mean, we're gonna get a little bit more, right?
Well, I'm not the numbers.
A lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm not the numbers person, but if with him being as efficient as he was, obviously he wasn't that efficient in Detroit. Will he continue to be that efficient in Indianapolis? I guess is a good question because he was an absolute monster.
It's easy to see the efficiency numbers go down. Sure, touchdown was crazy, but I don't know. I don't like what else is there unless they're bringing a lot of other numbers in free agency to come take a bunch away. What else is there?
I see that though. I see them. I mean, it'll likely just be a rookie, but this wide receiver class is stacked, of course, and they'll be able to grab one of the top 5 guys, which is not a huge drop off at this point. They'll be able to draft one of those top 5 wide receivers later, at wherever they're picking. Do they have their first round pick actually? Do they? I don't even know.
They do have some of the most cap room though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the whole Le'Veon Bell thing has been happening, so those are a lot of targets.
So, I'm curious to everybody in the chat because I feel like a lot of people are saying that they want to buy not Jack Doyle, excuse me, to buy Eric Ebron. What are you guys paying? Everybody in the chat, what are you guys paying for Eric Ebron if you are wanting to buy him? Is he worth a let's say mid to late first? Would you pay that for Eric Ebron? I'm curious. Also in the chat, golly, the chat is so lit. This is great. Addison Hayes, I'm guessing he's here to defend himself.
We'll subtract this in.
What's up, Addy? Tyler Gunther's in the building. Doug Eddie Doug in the building as well.
I like those guys.
Renshaw, yes, the tree is still up. We've talked about this.
At this point, you better just leave it up. Like it's too close to Christmas at this point. Just leave it up.
I mean, we're mere.
Arbor Days
like,
come in, leave it up.
we are
Celebrate
11
in style.
We are 11/12 of the way there. Like, come on now, we're almost there. It's
Might as well
close.
just finish.
Might as well finish. Zach, what's cracking? Nobody's talking about buying Ebron all of a sudden. I feel like it was okay. Jesse says he'd take early second for Ebron. Early second or Eric Ebron. What do you guys think?
That's fine.
One tight end? Sure.
Yeah, one tight end. Nothing crazy.
Sure.
I'd take Ebron there.
Yeah.
That doesn't
take him
seem so risky, though. Like, if you said late first versus Ebron, that's probably where I'd place him at. That's like a question of, do I want to take a risk on this class, or do I want to take a guy that I think Andrew Luck will target? By the way, I was looking it up in the background. The free agent wide receiver, at least, class for 2019 is pretty garbage. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, definitely.
Get Moncrief back. Sweet.
I mean, maybe if they got like Golden Tate, he could take away from Ebron. But other than that, it doesn't seem like there's many guys that will take away from him if they signed him.
Tyrell Williams to go on the other side of Hilton. Trash.
I think that the Colts want something. I mean, to have the team that they had, really just a massive turnaround. Like they really just needed, it seemed like one or two more playmakers to get there, because the defense was fine, but they didn't really show up against the Chiefs. But then again, who could? So I don't know. I think they'd want another playmaker, and they'll do anything to get it. What if it's Antonio Brown?
Devin Funchess is available. He plays tight end, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Direct replacement for Ebron.
Would you guys rather have Doyle for a third or pay the early second for Ebron, or even let's say late first for Ebron, or the third for Doyle?
I want no part of Doyle. Yeah.
If I have to,
if I have to, it's Ebron. I want no part of Doyle.
Brutal.
Yeah. I'm with Jason. I'd take Ebron.
Whoa, quit using my real name and shit, dude.
Yeah, I know, right?
His cover.
That was genuine.
Becca, what'd you say?
Oh, I didn't say anything, but yeah, I don't want any part of Doyle either. But I felt that way coming into this year. Like, I wasn't buying into it with with them bringing Ebron in. People were still saying that Doyle would have like a big year. I didn't buy in on that either. Definitely didn't expect Ebron to be so good, but I just figured they would kind of take away from each other. But I like what I saw out of Ebron this year.
I mean, what are we expecting though? Like, because the touchdowns, like 13, like, do we expect that as just, a fluke, or that it's going to keep happening? Because I mean, the target share isn't all that large. I mean, it's got to be somewhere between, I don't know, 10 to 15% of the team's targets or yards or whatever, however you want to measure it. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's enough, and it was just based off of touchdowns.
I'll take another 10 for Ebron next year. I don't think that's hard to see. And in tight end world, that's another top 5-6 guy. So,
but also, like, does that matter?
By the way, Gabe, real quick, Ebron had 110 targets this season, which a lot of people are saying he won't see next season, which I kind of agree with.
How many did you pull in?
110 out of
66.
Yeah, he pulled in 66, 750 yards, 13 touchdowns.
750. Oh my! Wow, 750 yards. That might be lower than what 15%. Jeez.
Yeah. Wow.
He had a rushing touchdown in there too, right? We expect that all the time.
Let's
Didn't
see.
he get something like that?
I mean, how else do you get to like top 5 tight end without a rushing touchdown?
He did have a rushing touchdown on impressively negative
Like,
8 rushing yards.
That's amazing.
It's still a net positive. I feel like math is
Yeah, it looks like he's around 15%
not my field
across the board as far as targets, receptions, yards. But it just, I don't know, glaringly obvious to me that the touchdowns were what took him over. But if he can score 10 again, then yeah, he's definitely a top 7-8 guy. But whatever, I can get a guy much cheaper to do the same.
13 touchdowns. That's just spicy, extra spicy. The Matt Williams. This was good. What's up, Matt? I don't know if he's new to the bar or not, but what's up, Matt? He said, Eric Ebron caught. Huh?
Sorry, I said. I know.
Matt.
We know Matt.
We know Matt.
We know Matt.
Okay. Does it go by a different name, or am I tripping?
I like to call him Matt.
Did you hear the inflection on that, J Mike? Try that next time.
No.
You know what? I'm not even going to try.
DF statistics, J Mike. DF statistics.
Oh, that's right. Yes. He said Eric Ebron caught a touchdown while listening to this show. He said
Fair.
progression time. No thanks. I like that. That's funny.
That's impressive at home.
Yeah. So let's get out of Indianapolis because that's a scary place to be at nighttime. I think that the thing that everyone's talking about, and before we even jump into this, I want the first team that comes to your mind when I ask this question.
Oh, you're okay.
So I'm going to ask the question. Two drink, you're going to go first. I'm going to go left to right.
Sweet.
No way. Let me pull up the YouTube video because I want to see how it looks on there.
I'm all the way at the right on my side, by the way.
So let me flip that around. Bobby, you're going to go first.
I like this better.
It's going to go Bobby, Becca, two drink. Bobby, Becca, two drink. Bobby, Becca,
Maybe you
two
don't
drink.
get to play.
I don't want to play. I already said the Jaguars.
First team that comes to mind. Who does Antonio Brown play for in 2019? Go.
The Broncos.
Homer.
Becca wanted to jump me there.
No, I've been thinking this for days. Oh,
She's
sorry.
also on the farthest left for me, by the way.
I'm on the right for me.
Cheater.
On YouTube, it's Bobby, Becca, two drink. Bobby.
I'm going to give a controversial answer and say the Steelers.
Oh.
Okay.
They're gonna work things out or just give him more money or do a restructure or something. He's gonna make amends with Big Ben and be fine.
Two drink.
Right. He cheated and took mine, so I'll take the easy one and go Steelers West and the 49ers. Money's there. Shanahan wants his guy. It's too easy.
Everybody's saying San Francisco.
Because it makes sense.
And also that's where he wants to go, supposedly.
He wants to go there, yeah.
But how?
And Kittle's already nice to him. Nobody on the Steelers are even nice to him. Kittle's like,
the only
what's
one
up,
who
bro?
tweeted him.
Right?
Kittle's such a nice man.
And an egocentric guy like Antonio Brown is, I bet that fucking counts for something. I'm just saying.
No.
Like, he wrote that in his book, like, I love you, Kittle. But how do I do this? Let's make it work.
Man. Gabe, what do you think?
I mean, I think the 49ers seem to be the choice.
The hotness. Yeah.
I don't know, just to follow the fake news or whatever, but
Especially when Lev goes there too.
Yeah. Hey, okay.
Why not?
The entire locker room for the 49ers just goes, can you believe how mean Big Ben is? God.
My favorite J Mike in the world is with us right now, but my second favorite J Mike is the starting running back for the San Francisco 49ers. So you just need to calm down with that Bryce Love nonsense. If that's what you were referencing?
Me?
What'd you say, Bryce Love?
Who said it?
I thought you said Bryce Love to San Francisco.
I said Lev Bell, 49ers West.
Oh.
Or Steelers West.
No way. That's a lot.
I know. It's better than Bryce Love. Didn't he just?
I still had to get my
That's
Jerick
trash.
McKinnon piece in at some point, though, and just say, hey, he's good. So I don't know, J Mike. What I still think the Colts are kind of interesting, though. Like T.Y. Hilton and Antonio Brown, that's nuts. And they do have the cap. Like they could really get or they could offer them the contract. I know they got to trade, but they could at least they have room for the contract. They probably have enough for Bell and Antonio Brown. Really, it'll screw them over for the next 10 years, but they've got enough.
That'd be great for your Jags.
Exactly, because it's for the next 10 years, so they don't utilize what they have in Andrew Luck.
The Colts don't need him, Gabe. They have Ebron and his 13 touchdowns. They're fine.
All right, we're off the
Marlon Mack.
How embarrassing!
It's awesome.
Yeah, you know who's gonna? You know where it'll happen? It's gonna be the Raiders. You know that Gruden needs to keep that average above 30. He needs to keep it above 30. It's gonna be Raiders.
You almost just caused me to do a spit take.
Yeah, me too.
Sounds like a Derek Carr bounce back. I like it.
I guess the cap doesn't really matter as much with trades, especially with the contract that I don't know, especially with the contract they have now. But maybe it does. But I don't know. Could he really just kind of go anywhere at this point? Like, it's pretty nuts.
At this point, it's who's willing to pay through the nose for him, right? Because technically they'd have to trade him. It's not like they can just.
But with the trade, you think you could make up a little bit of money, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't know how trades work. I don't know how the NFL works.
Wait, do salaries have to match, or is that no? I'm just kidding. That's the NBA. So Matt says San Francisco.
Thank you, Matt.
A lot of folks said the 49ers. Like it was overwhelmingly San Francisco.
Thank you, everybody.
Renshaw says the Eagles. I don't know how that would work. Jesse, AB to the Cardinals. Book it. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw that one up there as far as cap. The Cardinals are definitely up there. Yeah.
Doug Eddy says, hey, if Pettis becomes the new Juju, if Antonio Brown goes to San Francisco, don't at me.
I like it. Nope.
I'm going to at you.
Yes.
You shouldn't.
I'm just going to give you a congratulatory tweet, Doug. Yeah. That's it.
There you go. And that's on Twitter. That's at the Fantasy Father, DA Fantasy Father for those keeping score at home.
Pettis still got to play fiddle to Kittle or second fiddle to Kittle, right? I'm going to try to. I'm not even trying to rhyme. You're welcome.
Yeah, right. Trying to take my job.
Yeah, I got no chance at that.
Kittle's sick. Speaking of the San Francisco 49ers receivers last year, or pass catchers, George Kittle led the way with 88 receptions. Anybody want to take a guess at who was number 2 on the team in receptions?
I feel like it's a trick, and it's not going to be Pettis now because that's who we're talking about.
Yeah, Rita or something.
Right?
Final guesses. Anybody? No, it's not Joe Ingles, Becca. Chill out.
Trent Taylor didn't play enough.
Yes, it is.
He should.
The answer is always Joe Ingles.
It's always Joe Ingles.
My brain immediately went Aldrick Robinson, and I don't even think he's on the team anymore. He's on the Vikings, right?
That's correct.
That is correct, Bobby.
Yeah, he is not with the 49ers.
Bobby gets a correct point for the right team.
It's going to be somewhat obscure. That nasty. That seems so gross. Like
you're such a trickster, Jay. Mike, just tell us.
Jake Anderson in the chat with the correct answer with the question mark. So I'm guessing that wasn't his real guess. It was just a dart throw, if you will. Kendrick Bourne.
Exactly.
Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah. That's the obscurity right there.
What is it, like 25?
Pettis was out enough games. Trent Taylor was out games. Garcon.
Kendrick Bourne.
Rita was even out a couple games.
Less than half of Kittle's receptions. Kendrick Bourne had 42, and third on the team. You probably would have never guessed. Kyle Juszczyk.
I was going to guess that was my second option.
Bull crap.
I really was. Because I figured he's one that people never guess, but he always seems to get like 10 to 15 receptions. And I thought, were the 49ers really that bad?
Yep.
Almost.
Yes, they were. But I think that's the really interesting thing about San Francisco is that Shanahan just keeps producing gold. Like it's what he did with Nick Mullins this year. It's kind of absurd. Is that fair to say? No, maybe, yes.
Absolutely.
Like, third string quarterback? Like, come on.
And next year he gets the most handsome QB in the league back.
Beathard's coming back? I had no idea. No idea. Jimmy G. Speaking of people that you might be able to buy low in the offseason, Hello.
Hey,
Superflex.
Jimmy G and Jarek have been watching tape together.
Ooh.
About how to rehab?
They say move your knee like this, Jarek. It's an A.
I need more flexion out of that knee.
Man, that's just weird to even think about. Wow. Yeah. Anywho, Antonio Brown. So other landing spots that people had. I think we hit them all. There was one more. Oh,
You did not list all 32 teams.
No, I did not.
Dolphins.
No.
Dolphins, please.
Oh my.
Why?
I gotta need something to fucking rude about. Shit. I live here in Jacksonville. Gotta hear about that bullshit. What else do I got? Nothing. Keep going.
Renshaw threw this out in the chat. Nick Mullins in 8 games averaged more fantasy points than Jimmy G averaged in 8 games with San Francisco.
Wow.
Trade Jimmy G.
They should
Quarterbacks don't
trade Jimmy
matter.
G. Yeah.
Get him up out of
Roland
here.
Mullins. Trade Jimmy G to Denver. I actually think this is my new favorite idea. Jimmy G to Denver. Perfect. They got
Wait.
Nick Mullins.
You don't love Case Keenum? Why are you quitting
Look.
on Case?
I don't.
He's
I don't
serviceable,
hate him.
okay?
He's serviceable.
Serviceable
exactly.
QB2.
Serviceable as hell. He's not great. He's not terrible. He's just a quarterback.
That was one of my favorite lines from 2018. Serviceable QB2.
Bobby, that's a Bobby classic right there,
That's a
Bobby.
bar.
I feel like this is the place where you get to either take a victory lap or a mea culpa, whichever one you like. Regarding Case Keenum.
I'm with you. I'm honestly unsure which one I should be doing.
Because Case was your boy. You said he is perfectly serviceable.
You're not wrong.
The highest
wrong about
the highest honor you could bestow upon a quarterback.
I can't. So can we not?
Can we talk about serviceable QB2s in 2019? Can we get a rundown? Who is everyone's serviceable QB2?
Josh Rosen.
I will go a length greater and give a greater honor to Josh Rosen and say that he will be good.
Okay.
Ooh. That's a bold statement.
That's the step up from serviceable.
Yeah, it goes like
QB2,
serviceable,
good.
What's your ranking
serviceable,
scale?
meh, bad, trash, and then like good, great, amazing, handsome Jimmy Garoppolo.
I cannot wait to listen to this.
Oh wait,
playback.
sorry. Above handsome Jimmy Garoppolo, Russell Wilson, the god.
I'm going to listen to this on the playback, and I'm going to get someone to draw out the actual
I was
chart.
going to say, I need that.
Yeah.
I need that going
Yeah,
into
we-
drafts.
Yep.
Where do these guys
Chart,
fit?
draft chart, quarterback chart.
Stay away
Just
from
remember.
those neck guys.
You want the serviceable guys in the late rounds. That's all you need, and then you win.
Koch's QB chart. I like it.
Ah!
I like that a lot. The
Taking over Gruden.
Jake Anderson says Case is #not good. Very good. Very
It doesn't
good.
Not
matter.
everybody
He has to
not.
be serviceable. That's all, Jake.
Yeah.
Jake, was he not a QB2 in fantasy? Was he not?
Was he not?
Gabe, real quick, in the chat, Abe says you remind him of David Spade.
Is that good
Well,
or bad?
Sweet.
Abe, you remind me of my name, but with one less 7th letter. So,
You ain't no
Not
G.
as good.
Please,
Not as
please.
good.
I wasn't gonna go there, J Mike, but you, I softballed it up for you, and you hit it. Abe, nice to meet you via this non-existent chat that J Mike says exists.
I can't
David
find
Spade,
it
I'll
either.
take
Yeah, I don't see it, bro.
I
You know,
don't find it.
look, call a spade, motherfuckers. All right.
That's wild. I'm not even gonna mess with that.
right. Cheers, Abe. Cheers, Abe.
Yes, for those.
Cheers, Abe.
Cheers,
yes,
Abe.
indeed.
Cheers,
The-
Abe.
No,
So-
I saw you go blank hand, Rebecca. Don't take that shit back. That don't count.
I really want to know everyone's serviceable QB2 for 28 play. I think that's funny.
Mariota.
That's a good
Throwing
one.
it out there.
Mayfield.
Whoa.
That's rude.
Did y'all hear that one?
What'd you say?
She said Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, rude.
Ooh, that's
We might
spicy.
have a discussion here.
Okay.
I like that. Let's talk about it. So you don't like him as a QB1 next year, Becca?
I don't think he'll crack the QB1. I just-
Mm.
There's a lot of other guys. Like, who are you putting him ahead of?
Well, that was going to be my follow-up question. Is it just because there's so many good quarterbacks playing right now, or because you don't like Baker?
I like him. I do like him. I just think he's not going to, like, get through the QB1 level yet. I think maybe still like a year away from that. I could be wrong, but I
Bobby,
just don't wanna-
what was the level above serviceable?
Yeah. Is that good?
He's the one right
That's-
above that.
So she's saying he's good.
I'm gonna put him at good. Yeah.
So not great, not amazing, and not the
Not
god
yet.
Russell Wilson.
Right.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Can't wait to go back
he
through
didn't
that.
get to play all 16 either. So I mean,
Yeah.
if he can probably looks like he ended with 27 touchdowns. If you get over that 30 mark, it seems to help propel you into the QB1 territory.
How many games did he miss? 4 in the front, something like that.
3 not starting.
Okay.
So 2 because he ended up playing that second half.
Gotcha. He
Was that
crushed
against
it in the
the Jets?
middle part of the season there. He crushed it. So
I think you're potentially right, Becca, in the fact that he might be, on the latter end of QB1 territory in most weeks. That could be true because you just
10 to 14 like,
is what it
that's
is.
kinda
But
safe to
but
put him
also I'm totally willing to take that risk.
The new
Um,
face of serviceable for 2019, and I can't decide. You guys can decide. Is either Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen.
I like
No.
in. What?
I like
the fuck out of here. Josh
I thought you were
Allen,
gonna bring me
quarterback
something
one
like-
for the last 5 weeks last year. Come on.
I thought you were going to bring me something like Kirk Cousins, and I would have been like, okay, that's fun.
Either that
see what you're
or the first repeat of serviceable QB of the year, Case Keenum.
Case Keenum. Yep.
Yep.
That's a safe
Is
bet.
Casey even the guy there? Are we for
Yes.
sure?
Well, we haven't drafted yet, but I don't like this draft class. So what I want to do,
True.
And
What
they
I
will
wanna
follow
do
your lead.
if we
You
can't
tell
get
him.
the 49ers to trade us Jimmy Garoppolo, which is like my new plan I'm going to start working on, then
Campaign for it.
Yeah, I'm going to tweet them, and then they'll have to do it. I
Solid.
think that's how the world works.
I was not aware that that's how things work, Becca.
I
am-
need you to
Did you
tweet more
not
shit
see
for
the
me.
Bronco in front of her name, J. Mike?
I didn't know the power of it. I wasn't aware.
That's
of
not
the power.
just a fan thing. That is a thing.
It is. Actually, Mile High Report follows me on Twitter now.
Boom.
Hey, big
Mic
time.
drop. I can just like leave this now, right? That you guys all know that?
Yeah,
Achievement hits.
that is a mile high flex.
Well done, Gabe. Well done.
Hey,
Um,
Quick.
No, I think I see a likely scenario where the Broncos do keep Case for next year, and he could repeat as serviceable quarterback.
I shouldn't even be laughing. The Giants are going to keep Eli Manning, and I'm going to suffer for the year. It's fine.
Yes.
Aw.
You're gonna
I
love
think
every
Derek
second.
Carr is a
What
serviceable
is-
too.
Is Eli Manning the level below
I like that one.
serviceable?
Eli
Meh?
is
That's
meh.
the meh.
He
That's
is
the meh.
he is the meh.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
He's not quite trash. He's just meh.
He's the meh quarterback. Okay, yeah.
Eli Manning. No? Okay. Back to the drawing board.
I'll take it.
Ooh.
I'll take it, but let's move on
Nah.
before anyone else.
Stretching that one, J Mike.
It was. I tried. Give me some. Oh,
I'm
both.
surprised. I'm looking at these QBs now. I'm surprised how far down Matthew Stafford landed. Like QB.
I'm not surprised. Do you know why?
20?
Because I drafted
20?
him in round 11.
Ooh.
20? Oh my god. What's the level below?
Buy low on
that?
So-
Stafford.
Yeah, is it?
No, I'll
So,
take it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Is
20?
that
Yeah.
yeah?
Back
That's
here.
where he landed. QB
That's,
20.
Below
that's
Case
serviceable
Keenum.
level.
I know.
No.
Is Matthew Stafford a serviceable QB2 in 2019? I
No.
think it's
He had
Yeah.
down here.
to buy, probably, huh?
I'd definitely buy
Yeah,
some
wow.
Stafford.
That's what Spoonie said here in the chat. He said, "Buy Stafford or nah."
Buy him.
Yes.
New
Spooney's a
OC.
smart man.
Marvin Jones will be back. Galladay has another year under his belt. Kerryon Johnson's going to get a ton of receptions, according to everyone on Twitter. I say buy Stafford.
Eric
even-
Ebron's ghost will be catching touchdowns. Finally.
Funchess. We're putting Funchess there as tight end. I like it.
They probably draft a receiver though. I bet Galladay fans are sweating.
Do they have a new offensive coordinator yet in Detroit?
They haven't hired one yet, at least not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, Junior Bacon Cheeseburger's gone. Not sure what they're gonna do there. That's interesting.
Does it have to be a 3-name thing for the Lions offensive coordinator position? Jim Bob Cooter.
I nominate Billy Bob Thornton.
Strong.
Strong. Okay.
Strong.
Sell Stafford stocks now then.
I think he's a Milo.
That's a fair point. Becca, just to speak to what you were talking about in that low end of the low end of QB1, if we're looking at points per game, which I find really interesting, I think that place is a very, very interesting, like there could be a lot of shift there. So if we're looking at like QBs 10 to 15, let's say, in points per game, we had Goff at 10, Trubisky at 11, Russ Wilson at 12, Dak at 13, and then tied for 14th were Phillip Rivers and Jameis Winston. So, like, depending on how you feel about either those situations or the volume or whatever you think about that, like that could be a group that has a wholesale change, whether they move up or down, with Cam Newton possibly missing 2019, which I feel like is something that we should probably talk about.
I saw that bit today. What?
Yeah, like, so if he has this shoulder surgery, then they're talking about him missing 2019, which
it's like
also
Andrew Luck.
If you're buying low, would you rather go for Stafford or Cam Newton at this point? If you know that Cam's missing all of 19, if you think that Cam's missing all of 19, who would you rather buy?
And a quarterback, I'll go ahead and take Stafford.
That's really tough, actually.
That's a good question.
I'd probably go Cam because Cam has huge upside. And if you can get any kind of discount on him, assuming that people give – because I'm still kicking myself about not buying more of Andrew Luck when people were saying he's never going to play again. So just using that feeling, I'd probably go after Cam.
Yeah, but we said that after a whole year off, basically. And then feel like we're going to have to wait a year. Like, let's do that on Cam next off season then if we're still getting some bad hits. I'd rather have a year of Stafford playing than go get your Cam Plus next year when you don't feel like he's going to play anymore.
And to your point, Jason, you never know if a league's going to fold after a year. We all play a dynasty, but occasionally there is that league that just blows up after a year.
Well, sure, but fuck those guys.
It depends on your situation. You know, speaking of the league, like you got to understand where you're sitting. If you need, a Matthew Stafford, if you're not so much feeling Josh Rosen or something, I don't know, but and Cam's obviously not going to do it. I think that's fair to go and swing on that.
So, J-Mike, you had Winston and Stafford kind of together there. Let's go into next year. Winston gets Bruce Arians. Which one of those two guys you guys taking?
Man, I've been standing on the rooftops yelling "Never, Jameis" for so long, just because he's such a dummy head.
BA's not going to change that. Like, the offense will be nice, but James is still throwing crazy-ass interceptions.
Bruce wants that ball in the air.
So does Jameis. Jameis just chucks it up to anybody, and luckily there's a 6'6" guy named Mike Evans on their side catching the damn ball. Like,
I mean, I don't know. I have to like Jameis because I love Bruce Arians.
I'm taking Jameis too. I just hate it. Just saying.
I love it.
Does anybody not hate it at this point? That'd be
True.
almost more interesting. I feel like.
But do you
not
feel better
liking
with BA there?
Winston-
of
I did
course?
see a tweet about that it was kind of like a funny, like a quoting thing of like Twitter versus the bias of people or whatever with the, how Bruce is a good coach or whatever, and saying that Twitter was like, these coaches need to get a new young coach to come up and save the team. And then there's all these hires, and then the Bucks go and hire Bruce Arians, and they're like, they're gonna turn it around. So it's like,
It's all they needed.
yeah,
Big Bad
Twitter
Bruce.
wins no matter what.
Never
It's
wrong.
pretty funny, man.
Always. Ever. This was really interesting as well. And I'm having a hard time. I'm only in one single QB league, and so I'm having a
Good
really
boy.
tough time. Yeah, I love Superflex. It's kind of what I was brought in on. I'm curious of your all's thoughts on this. Shout out to the executive producer in the chat, Jake Anderson.
I like that guy.
Jake sent me a trade, and I'm
He
curious what you
seems
guys
cool.
think of this. And so I'm gonna air Jake and I's business all out for you guys.
Can
Jake
I
sent me-
recuse myself because I co-own a team of Jake and I don't want him to take it out on me?
No,
No. You cannot.
not
I just
allowed.
want to know your all thoughts. I want to know your all thoughts. This is a running back premium league. I forgot it's
Bobby
is it-
should go first too.
Yeah, Bobby,
He's going to trade all our best players out of spite. Sorry, Jake.
So I'm curious of everybody's thoughts. And Becca, do you play much Superflex, or are you more on the one QB side of life?
I've actually never played Super Flex.
Okay.
One QB life for me.
That changes now, Becca. You're fixing it.
Fair enough. One QB. So this
I just sent you a league invite.
Yes.
So Jake sends me a deal. It's Patrick Mahomes. Again, single QB, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Samuels, a 4th and a 5th rounder in this year's
Trash.
draft. Again, Patrick, Jalen, and filler, for the sake of filler, I guess. For Joseph Mixon, Patrick Mahomes,
What?
and Jalen Samuels for Joe Mixon. And essentially, I think this is 0.25 point per carry. Maybe not that much. Point something per carry.
Oh, you get point per carry. Okay.
Yes. So it's definitely running back premium.
Those QBs get 6 for a TD though, or any completion points or anything like that.
Not for completions. I can try to double check the bylaws.
Okay,
I wasn't
Yeah.
ready for
take your
all
time.
the specifics. You
The
guys
gentleman
with your,
getting Jalen Samuels also has James Conner, or no?
No.
Bobby doesn't have to go first. It's Joe Mixon, and I love some Mahomes. One quarterback.
I don't know if I like mind the trade that much. Like I think it's okay, and maybe as far as like value, I think Jake might, or is Jake who's who here, or does it matter? We don't have to discuss that. But
No,
Cheater.
Jake has Mahomes. He just
Okay.
literally ran through the league like a melted knife,
Oh.
like a hot knife through melted butter.
right,
Yes, I'm bringing melted butter back. Hot knife through melted butter.
Put on some sliced bread.
Yes. Hope you like toast because it's wonderful.
Yeah, cook it.
Yeah, and he has
That's-
Mahomes and basically has just a gross awesome team, but he's the one that's trying to move Mahomes and Samuels for Mixon.
Oh, I mean,
What are
I think from a value standpoint, I think that you're winning a little bit, J Mike, but I also would be one to sell Mahomes because I think that value is quite possibly the highest it will ever be. And Jake, you should probably ask for a little bit more from J Mike.
J. Mike, what are your other quarterbacks, and are you loaded at running back?
This is an orphan that I took over, I think, close to midseason. The only other quarterback on the roster is one guy that I detest. His name is Mitchell True Chains Trubisky.
Hmm.
Oh, and
Running
Cody
backs?
Kessler. Shout out to Cody Kessler.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Running back?
Wait, how many teams are in this league, J Mike? Is it 12 team, 14 team?
It's a 12er.
See, I knew this was going to come into draft bag eventually.
Right? Leave it to J Mike.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Mixon.
Mixon. What do you think, Koch?
You could figure it out with
kinda-
another quarterback, J Mike.
I'm kind of torn because I don't really think you should ever trade for quarterbacks in one QB. If I was going to do it, though, Mahomes would probably be one of the guys I would because he is somewhat of a difference maker at the position. However, he could regress, as everybody says. And honestly, I think the values would mix in. So I definitely disagree with Gabe's statement that I think that Jake should be getting more. It's just a question of whether I think Mahomes is worth it. And if Trubisky is your only quarterback, he could be worth it. Personally, I like Trubisky, but all I'm saying is I'm also in a 1 QB league, and I just remember facing my opponent who had a pretty trash team, but he had Mahomes, and he beat me basically because Mahomes would put up like 35 points. So it's not that ridiculous to think that Mahomes could be the difference between you winning a championship or not.
Sure, it definitely depends on your score in there. But usually 4 points, no completion, no like yardage bonus stuff. J Mike.
I need to amend what I said before because I just pulled up the bylaws. Thank you guys for talking through it before then. Passing touchdowns, 6 points.
Oh.
Helps a little.
Passing completions.
Oh no.
0.25.
0.25? Holy shit.
Listen. Hold on. I'm not finished.
That's enough, bro.
The scoring's a little more wild than I thought. So passing completions are 0.25 points. Passing incompletions are negative 0.25.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all right.
I've played in a league like that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's
rushing
still a bone, you know.
0.2 points per rushing attempt, and receptions. It's 1 point per reception, and it looks like it's tight end premium. 1.5 points, which doesn't really matter to this trade. So 6 points per touchdown.
Running backs.
You basically get 0.05 to 0.1 for every. Ultimately, like by the end of the game, I think how it balances out, you'd eventually get that. But even with the 6 point TDs, though, like that's, I think it's closer than
helps a little. Yep.
Yeah, I'd say that actually makes me lean Mahomes because it puts an emphasis on having better quarterbacks. Because in most leagues, you can get away with a guy like, as much as I like him, like a Trubisky as your QB and figure out the rest of your lineup. With that, you want a guy who's going to get a lot of completions and touchdowns, and that's Mahomes.
J Mike, running back Mixon, where is he for you? That's your third best running back, your first, your eighth?
Oh, he's probably my best. No, check that. He's definitely my best.
Yeah,
not
Who else do you have?
I can't give that up.
My second best running back did not play this season. His name is Darius Geis. And after that, it's just a bunch of hopes and dreams and sadness.
Not in a one quarterback. Mixon, please.
Keep Mixon, yeah.
Yeah, because it is one quarterback, you could. I mean, this class isn't great, but you can seem to always get quarterbacks in the third round. So you could wait till 2020 and use a third round pick on a guy like Jake Fromm and be fine. Or Tua.
Or trade for another quarterback now. Go get Stafford like we were talking about. Way cheaper.
Well, here's another question, J Mike. If that's your running back situation, are you contending? Have you been a contender?
Again, Orphan, I took over midseason. Not sure if you slept through that part, Bobby.
Yes, I did.
Okay, wonderful. This team.
Stay sleeping.
This team, I don't think is necessarily. I don't know. It might be close. Jimmy G is also on my. Jimmy G was hurt. He's on. I forgot he's on IR. But this is a team that has like wide receiver.
Yeah, then no Mahomes. You know,
pass.
Yeah, right, hard pass.
Jake
Cooper
Jake
Kupp
bringing some trash. Tell him to bring a real offer.
Jake, you're trash.
Bobby, apparently
offer,
you were
not
in this league.
Jake
said that you were in this league, Bobby.
Oh yeah, during the I know what league he's starting up. I was in there during like the startup draft briefly.
Oh, so you quit like before the season even start? Wow, what a jerk move!
Yeah, I know. That's typical of me. I'm the dick.
Do not invite Bobby into a league. Got it.
Should I decline that league invite you sent me then?
It's Bobby in there again.
Don't worry, I already got rid of him, Becca.
He gone. He gone. All right, that was fun. Jake, thank you for the offer. I really like Mahomes in that, but with my running back situation and everyone talking me through this, I felt like this was like a therapy session. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Probably shouldn't have sent that right before the show, Jake.
Jake.
I don't know. Like it makes sense, and Mahomes does kill, obviously, but yeah, this whole one quarterback's life is just really weird to me. I'm like, ooh, Mahomes, this is bright and shiny. It's exciting.
You guys should
Don't fall
convince
for
that
it.
league to go to Superflex in like 2 years. Just
Thank
saying.
you.
In like 2 years.
Well, you got to give some people some heads up. You can't just spring it on them in a dynasty. That's kind of rude. Then you get up with J-Mike that just has Mitchell Trubisky and Jimmy G. That's not awful.
The handsomest.
So what I've been wondering is Mitchell Trubisky serviceable? Where
Mm.
does he fall on your scale? I'm curious.
The QB
So you're asking me this
serviceable
question
scale?
specifically, but to answer the question, I can't do it without bias because when he was drafted, I gave him the nickname Super Trooper, and I just really wanted him to succeed. So I will find reasons that Mitchell Trubisky will be a good quarterback.
Serviceable.
So serviceable.
You were
okay.
close. You were close. Yeah.
Next season, Bobby, Baker Mayfield or Mitchell Trubisky.
That's easy, Baker.
Okay.
I just want to let you know in points per game, Mitchell Trubisky, QB 11 on the year.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm fully aware. I had him in. So I had a league where I had a Pokemon avatar, and I won last year. So I evolved it. It was a Squirtle. It became a War Turtle. And this year I was on the quest for Blastoise. Most people don't follow Pokemon, so they're shaking their head
holy
at me.
shit, Bobby.
I need more
And,
fucking beer, dude.
Did my
And-
7-year-old take this over?
Yes, exactly. And
Gotta catch up.
Mitchell Trubisky is on that team, needless to say. And I got back to the championship game, so I'm fully aware of how well he played.
Wait, hold on. What's between Squirtle and Blastoise? I remember those two characters. What's in between?
War Turtle.
War Turtle?
Or War Turtle.
Holy
War
fuck.
Turtle? No way. That's got no way. Are you sure that's not like an off-brand thing? There's something. Really?
Yeah, it's
I'm
War
looking
Turtle.
up War Turtle. What it? War
War
Turtle?
Turtle. Yeah.
Like WAR Turtle.
You making
War
up stuff
Turtle.
now, Bobby. I don't.
Yeah,
I
War
don't
Turtle.
Leave it to Robert Elizabeth Pony to make shit up.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That
I
must
remember
be like
him.
on your
Did your
brain.
name change?
That's seriously the one between Squirtle and Blastoise? That's weak, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yo, Russ, your
Squirtle
bromance
goes
partner,
way harder than that.
your bromance partner, Kosan. He said War Turtle is the name.
Man, I thought I liked Russ too. Fuck.
I don't mind Pokemon. I fuck with Pokemon, but War Turtle, like what? It's funny, but Squirtle's the man. Like,
Oh yeah, I love Squirtle. He's my avatar in most of my leagues.
That must mean something different to
Oh
y'all.
my God.
My head's been dirty. I need more beer. Y'all crazy.
In the chat, Zach just said they named him during the writer's strike.
yeah. I think they forgot that they like just jumped from a Squirtle to a Blastoise, and they were just like, "Wait, all these other ones have something in between." What's the? I got these other people also search for Ivysaur. I remember Ivysaur. I remember Charmeleon. All right.
Not War Turtle.
So, did you do a? What I'm getting at here, Bobby, is that did you do a Pokemon themed article here for your writers or your readers and listeners?
No, I did a Super Smash Brothers themed article. That was my
And
nerdy
it
article
was
of the year.
awesome.
But I think that you're onto something with the Pokemon
Well,
thing.
so
Just
here's
saying.
the thing. Originally, I wanted to do Pokemon. It was deemed that it would get a similar reaction to what it just got in this chat. So I decided to.
They all left.
Yeah, they're gone. I decided to shift gears to Super Smash Brothers.
I
Look,
was- I was mad, by the way. I forgot to. I've been a bit inactive on Twitter. Apologies to all my fans. I saw Star Fox was next to your boy
Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah. That fucking angers me because Star Fox is my boy and Mitchell Trubisky is not. But to be fair, I didn't read the article and I apologize. I was skimming and I just happened to see it and I saved it and then you know how that goes.
You don't have to read it, but basically Fox thing was, one, it kind of fits, but two, is mostly so that I could remind Bears fans of their former coach, Fox.
It works. It works. God, I love Star Fox.
By the way, that whole Josh Rosen is trash thing started because I showed Addison my Super Smash article and he DM'd me and was like, I can't believe you made Josh Rosen Falco. So that's how that all started.
Yeah, I feel like
Falco is trash though. Josh Rosen.
But seriously, who wants to get on some Super Smash Brothers right now and do work? Nope.
I will. Cool. Just me.
I haven't played that game in forever.
Rebecca and Jason are totally tapped out. They're like, this nerd is just talking about stuff that we don't understand.
Anywho, sorry about that.
I broke the seal and I got more beers. You guys were still talking about Pokemon.
We moved on to Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, we transitioned.
2K19.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Let's go. Actually, yeah, that game's trash too. They did not do a very good job. I mean, I love 2K. I love the 2K brand.
I play with Utah. I don't play with Utah. They suck.
Yeah, they're not good.
I can hear you.
Oh, I thought I was still on mute. My bad. Or you were on mute? No. I'm gonna play with the Ingles after this. I'm sorry. I will do it.
Okay.
Probably not.
Why not?
Because he'd rather play with the Spurs and shoot a bunch of mid-range jumpers. Shout out to LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan.
I'll have to try that too, I guess.
Gabe, we just hit the 61-minute mark. So
paying attention. Nice.
Yeah.
I grabbed 3 more beers, so let's go.
Look, I just abide by the 2-drink minimum. Well, I guess I don't, but I buy his 2-drink minimum.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Spoonie hit us with open bar with Super Smash shots. That's
oh my
strong.
God.
Spoonie, that's strong.
Spoonie, calm down.
What is Spoonie drinking?
It's Tuesday, Spoonie. Come on. Okay, so I know Jake wanted to talk about 2019 rookies. Can we hit on that before we go?
Yeah, those are fun.
2019 rookies. I know that friend of the pod, former guest, Mr. Travis May, he's got his thread going right now to where people are voting on who should be the 101, the 102, things of that nature. And by a large margin, N'Keal Harry went as the player number 1. Becca, it sounds like you're excited about that. Talk to us.
Oh, I just love N'Keal Harry. I went to Arizona State, so I love him. I also want him to play in Denver, too, if you were wondering who I want to draft him.
You're not okay with Cortland and Deshaun running the show there?
Tim Patrick.
Deshaun Hamilton.
Wide receiver 1.
I love Tim Patrick, too. Deshaun Hamilton's more of like an inside guy, so I want someone else like on the outside with Cortland Sutton. After we trade DT, we need like another one. So.
Case probably moves into that good stage, though, right?
Yeah.
No longer serviceable if it gets Harry in there. I like it.
I think you guys are thinking a little too outside of the box there. I'm not sure about Case Keenum jumping that much. You need to pump the brakes a little bit.
I talked shit about Utah, so I figured I had to give her one.
That's fair. Okay. That was kind.
N'Keal,
have you guys had a chance to dive into rookies at all yet?
Enough to talk about it in January.
Right.
So N'Keal Harry, your 101 game?
Well, okay, maybe not that far, like to where I'm like ready to
In January.
say that's my guy. No,
I mean, you were Mr. Cortland Sutton last year, so
I know, and N'Keal Harry's like a similar prospect. So I always seem to lean towards those type of athletes and build in wide receiver. But yeah, I like N'Keal Harry. I guess I'm curious how he tests naturally, but I don't know. I want to see more. I like. I'll tell you this. I liked Sutton. I like Sutton more than N'Keal Harry.
I think if Harry or Metcalf go to the combine and like kind of blow it up, we'll see one of those guys kind of jump to the front for sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a bunch of guys, and you're just going to wait for that landing spot, and everybody's going to have like their guy. Nobody's really going to be 101.
In Superflex, I might
That's so
argue that
hard
if
with
the
wide
Giants take a
receivers, too.
QB, that QB might be 101. Throwing to Odell, Shepard, and Ingram and Barkley for a while, that's definitely in contention in Superflex.
You mean if they take like Tyler or Haskins? Yeah, like no other QB would be the 101 besides those two.
No, just those two.
Yeah. Okay.
Put Greer there. I'll take him 101. I don't care. Just saying. I love Will Greer. Everybody's shitting on him. Y'all don't know. Wait.
Okay.
Mark it down. Just saying.
What about this though, J-Mike? I know you say, is Harry the number 1 or 101, whatever, but is a wide receiver the 101?
According to Travis's poll so far, he's got 2 guys.
I know, but that's just a poll, whatever. It's just Twitter. Twitter's always right. I get it, but
it's really interesting. Obviously, I think this is uncharted territory, right? For at least the last couple of years that I've been in Dynasty, I've not seen a rookie wide receiver go as the number 1 guy. Like Corey Davis was close a couple years ago, right?
Right.
But a lot of people still like their running backs ahead of him, even. So
did you miss like the 14 and 15 class then, J-Mike?
Bro, Dynasty, this is I finished my second year of Dynasty.
Yeah.
So
got it. Oh yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, he hit the good running back classes.
So that's all I know.
He didn't get to experience the 15 running back class.
I missed Mr. Stanky and whoever else y'all want to throw.
Or like the Laquan Treadwell 101.
Yes.
Yeah, that hurts.
Where it was a debate between Treadwell and Coleman and Doxson and who's that's how bad it was. Like that's where we're at. There were like 4 receivers everyone was tripping on, and it ended up just being Michael Thomas.
Derrick Henry too, right?
Yep, Derrick Henry was in that class. Yep.
So I feel like right now, from a consistent standpoint, David Montgomery is not everyone's. Just in terms of the voice of Twitter, David Montgomery is everyone's RB1 at this time.
Really?
I feel like it's been. What is that about, Jason?
Yeah, no, I get it. I hear people saying that. I don't know. It seems chalk. I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah, it's pretty chalk. Yeah, I'm with you.
I feel like that's easy to say right now, but I might even go to Jacobs over Montgomery.
Jacobs looked really good.
Right? Like I feel like everyone's like, well, that's recency bias because we just saw
it.
But
that's the recency bias 101 or as far as running backs go.
Sure. So but I'll take it at Bama over the guy at Iowa State. I'm not even trying to get into SEC over whatever that other shit is.
In terms of college, I'm screwed because I don't pay all that much attention. I just follow certain people on Twitter and hope that they tell me good stuff. One of them is Jake, who I'm not just saying that so he won't trade away all of our best players. The other one is Travis, who you mentioned earlier. But I want to give a particular shout out because I was having a good conversation earlier with Kyle, who I just learned his name, but it's at Franchise KF on Twitter.
That's a good one.
He gives excellent information, and everybody should be following him.
He knows his shit for sure. I like Kyle.
All right.
Well, I guess Gabe, let me flip that back to you and everyone else real quick to chime in. When it comes to just from a value perspective, we've seen these 2 classes running backs hold their value for the most part, even when they weren't amazing in year 1. Sans, Ronald Jones, please nobody bring that up. I don't want to cry myself to sleep again.
I already hit you on that once today, J
To be
Mike. I
fair,
won't
though,
do it again.
Mike, that's a buy.
I've been picked apart with that of late, and I'm just trying to forget it.
I was trying to be nice.
But it's a buy.
I was trying to be nice earlier. I was on your side, bro.
Rojo abides. Rojo abides. That being said, with the class being loaded, absolutely loaded at wide receiver by most accounts, can we? Obviously, is there anyone or is there any way, like, how do you go about feeling good at taking a wide receiver at 101 in any class? Like, is that something that's viable?
I hope you traded for it. I hope you traded for it, and it's not really your 101. Like, I hope your team's not garbage and you just acquired that. Because otherwise, you're still in rebuild mode for a while. I don't see any of these guys coming in like year one. Like, yep, I'm a stud.
There are guys like that, but I feel like the wide receiver, or at least the variance is just, and this is completely hunchable as far as what I'm saying, and it's just my experience in Dynasty and what I've read and seen or whatever. But it kind of feels like that wide receiver, there's a larger variance versus running back as far as the top picks go. We just talked about Coleman and Treadwell and Doxson, like, yikes. But also there was Michael Thomas later. So, I mean, they exist, but where? And
the second Michael Thomas that year too, by the way.
Exactly. Oh my God. There's the bad Michael Thomas. Holy
yeah, there's the bad one.
I will
I took the
fully
wrong
admit
one,
that I was
on
on. Yeah, I was on good Michael Thomas, but we got him much later, so it didn't really matter. But he's still got a chance. He's on the Rams. Is he on the Rams still?
I don't think
on the Rams
so.
I think he's gone.
He'll come back.
RIP, bro.
RIP. Yeah, whatever. Sorry, Michael.
Grocery bagger.
Oh, ouch.
That's cool.
Mute that shit. Don't tell people. Keep
but
going.
the last 2 years, as far as running backs, they've been the top 6 picks have been running back heavy, and like you said, J Mike, they have held up whether they have been successful or not. But even when they were on the field, they were successful. So I just kind of see those running backs being a little bit more trustworthy if they are on that top end of rookie picks. So do I feel great about taking Harry 1 overall? No, not at all. Metcalf at 2 overall? No, not at all. Like, for me, I'm totally, I'm okay missing this year. Just let me trade out. Let me acquire something that, that will help me in the coming year with some juice on top for 2020. Cause I don't know. And you know, there's plenty of time to see what happens as far as the combine and landing spots and more tape that's revealed. But I don't know, man. I don't trust the wide receiver.
I feel like landing spot this year is maybe bigger than it's been the last couple of years for sure. Like, just keep your picks right now.
Also, to Gabe's point, a lot of times running backs show out right away, or you'll know if they show out right away because teams want young running backs.
Yeah.
Whereas the wide receivers, there used to be that whole 3-year breakout thing, but dynasty players
But there are still wide receivers that break out in the first year that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But they're usually not on the top end.
But you also have guys like Tyler Boyd who break out years later after everyone's given up on them.
3.
And there's the variance. I mean.
So that's the thing is, like, I know it's Tacit Assassin 13, Zach Reed, your boy from the Dynasty Gentlemen.
What up, Zach?
J Mike always talks about you want young running backs and somewhat older wide receivers, and I definitely agree with that. You want your wide receivers to have some experience so that you can generally trust them, but you want young running backs who are going to get experience right away because teams just basically throw them into the fire. So those rookie picks, I almost always want to take a running back, but in this class, I think you have to go wide receiver, or as Gabe and Jason were saying, just trade it out.
Which leads into an interesting question from Renshaw. And Spoonie, I'm going to come right back to your comment. Renshaw wants to know, what are you looking to get out of the 101 in terms of trades if it's a case of you receiving 2020 picks?
Couple of them.
like couple of 2021sts, or what? What do you mean?
Yeah. Or wait, what'd you say? The 101?
Yeah. So if you have
Oh,
101
sorry,
and
yeah.
19,
Okay.
yeah, if you have 101 and 19, what are you looking at trying to
Yeah,
receive?
more than that.
Okay.
But I mean, at least there's a base. They'll probably send you that shit offer of like 21st or something, and then like, okay, that's a good place to start. But
on the like name value, quote unquote, loan of 101, you could probably get some like proven production now plus a 2020 pick, and that's what I'd be looking at. I'd be trying to look at like the wide receiver range of maybe like, and this is just totally off the top of my head, but like maybe like an Allen Robinson plus like a 2020 first.
I think you could probably go higher than Allen Robinson.
That was just me.
But I think that's I don't hate that though. Allen Robinson, I just think I'm not sure how his value's being held right now. Shout out to Jake Anderson and Peter Howard. Dynasty Crossroads, they actually just discussed him on their last episode, and I found it wildly interesting just how, especially in the games that I watched of the Bears, Robinson was very good, and Trubisky was not very good at getting him the ball. Wherever he falls on that scale for you, Bobby, there, probably mantacular is what I would say. So I'm still trying. Jason. Your face was like, no, bro.
We're
wrong
gonna
direction.
Better before the shit's over.
Becca, what are you thinking if you have the 101? What are you looking at trying to get for it in this draft?
Well, this will be my first year playing Dynasty, actually. So
Let's go.
Shit.
I don't know how to properly value picks. Like I see all these trade polls. Yes. I see all these trade polls on Twitter, and I don't know how to value them because I don't know. So I didn't even know that Dynasty was a thing until this year, and then I found out about it after I got on Twitter, and then now I want to play.
Twitter's a dangerous place. It's so dangerous.
Are you in one of the Dynasty Origins leagues or something else? I'm just curious.
I play 4 redraft leagues.
But in the Dynasty League, are you in one of the Dynasty Origins that was organized?
She's not in one yet.
I'm not in one yet.
She didn't accept that link from Gabe yet.
So Becca is a Dynasty free agent, everyone.
I think I'm gonna do
that will not last long.
No.
And I'm gonna get in trouble because I played redraft for like 5 years, and sometimes like years you do too many, and then you just suck at all of them. Like I actually want to be good at them, so I have to like keep it down. But I'm quitting a couple of my redraft leagues, or they're like falling apart.
That's what you do when you add a Dynasty. You quit a redraft, you add a Dynasty. That's how the shit works.
Yep.
That also happens with Dynasty. You start playing too many Dynasties, and you end up quitting a few too.
Yeah,
but not for redraft. That's just you, Bobby. That's in startups. That's the best time. Why would you even leave during then? I don't get it.
I don't get it. On Twitter, she's at Bronco Becca. That's BECKA. If you want her in your Dynasty League, she's available. She's open. She's ready to get her feet wet in the Dynasty world. Holla at her.
Yeah, note to self, when listening to this back, make sure you send Becca an invite to some shit you made. I'm just going to make one just to put her in it now. Fuck, I don't care.
Yeah. And Russ, I know that you're still in the chat here. I need you to tell me, because we didn't quite address the question from Renshaw. And since you are the chief trade addict, or at least co-chief, you and Brian, what are you looking at trying to get out of the 101? If you have the 101, what are you trading it for? I need you to educate the people. With that being said, also, Spoonie had a fantastic point earlier. One of the main problems with wide receiver, or excuse me, one of the main problems with our drafts of late, he said, is that wide receivers have just been value sinks, whereas running backs have maintained or risen as it pertains to their value production, so on and so forth, in those rookie seasons. So most of the high-end wide receivers that we've seen drafted early, Corey Davis, his value's probably gone down since draft. Treadwell, Fuller, all those guys have probably gone down since being drafted. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, but I'd also say buy most of those guys. Because well, sorry, go ahead, J Mike.
No, I was just saying I don't disagree with that. I'm just simply talking about they're definitely buys at this point. I'm saying I think that their values have declined since being drafted. Would you say that?
I don't know. First round rookie picks, even a few years out, there have been some studies. I think Jacob Rickroad did a few. I can't remember his Twitter handle off the top of my head, but there have been a few studies
Clutch
on
Fantasy.
Yeah, Clutch Fantasy. Thank you. There have been a few studies that they are insulated, possibly, and maybe not as much recently as running back because everyone's gone running back crazy. But a good example is a guy like Corey Davis, who, despite the fact that he's shown decent on-field production, but he hasn't shown great on-field production, but he's still pretty highly thought of. And even Laquan Treadwell was getting some play until recently, and I feel bad because we keep just dumping on Laquan Treadwell, but I guess he deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see a lot of nodding of agreement. I'm not the only one.
I guess. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just, J Mike, it's just because you haven't experienced. So, like, you've only experienced the past two running back classes have been insane for how they've changed the game. So, like, while, yes, it is, you do have to take account what happened recently. It used to be that wide receiver value was insulated, and it still is somewhat. But those past two classes have definitely changed the landscape.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Just take some Benny Snell at the end in the second round this year. I'm happy.
Hey, look, man, it's UK all day.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's
People keep
go.
shitting on Benny Snell too.
That's
Benny
my favorite
Snell.
place to pick, by the way. End of the first, like early second. That's where you get like the accidental like Alvin Kamara's and Michael Thomas's.
Right.
And that also meant that you probably won last year. So that's also just double good feeling.
I wish Michael Thomas went there. The other Michael Thomas went to me in the early second round. And then the better Michael Thomas went like 5 picks later. And I was like, that's trash. It wasn't though.
It wasn't.
I think this running back class is better than the 2015 running back class, though. Like, that was just abysmal.
I can't even remember who was in that class besides Derek Henry.
Right.
I remember that like a mid first was like Kenneth Dixon, Gallman was there, and like a late first. I mean, it was bad. It was I think that this will be you'll end up seeing a lot more balance than people might think in the first round. Not just because of that it is okay, but also that the carryover of the last 2 years, you know, that y'all were talking about, that we've been talking about, and that running backs matter, and that it might end up being some sort of split, even though, you know, talent athletically, wide receivers are probably the better of the bunch here.
Fair enough. There's some Benny Snell slander going on.
No,
in the chat. I can't. As a
tell me who.
As a University of Kentucky, basically they raised me. I can't have that. Can't have that. He doesn't have to be your 101. He doesn't even have to be your first round running back. And I get it.
Borderline second round. That's all I'm saying.
He's probably going to be drafted in real life in like the 5th round, and I'll be totally okay with it.
No, he won't. No way.
You think he'll go higher than that?
Yeah.
We might have to open bar bet.
Open bar bet. Let's go. I'll do it now in January.
You give me. Can I get day 3 and you can have days 1 and 2?
That's 4th round on you, cheater.
Yeah.
Oh, well. I mean, 4th.
I was going to try and squeak it on the 4th round. That's.
I just saw mock draft.
That's what I was shooting. I think 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, I would say 4th is like best case scenario.
Yeah.
To the Chiefs. Watch out, Damian Williams.
Right. Let's talk about that in a second, because that one bothers me.
Oh, all right.
I mean, we should probably close with that. So let's I think Damian Williams is a nice place, because people Twitter fantasy loves Damian Williams. Becca, do you have a Damian Williams take or feelings about him as a player?
I like him. Yeah, he's someone that I would look at drafting this year or acquiring potentially.
It's,
What was that?
I mean, he did show out. He did definitely showed out with the opportunity that he got. The only question becomes, how much do you buy into not just what he showed us there,
the
but also
extension
what
they
the-
gave him,
which they
Yeah,
did to Spencer Ware a couple years ago. Let's not forget that.
who's a free agent now.
I'm just saying
But
we've
they
seen
did
it before.
Yeah.
To your Spencer Ware point, though, he was the starter until he got hurt, and then Kareem
Yeah.
Hunt just balled out.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And Spencer Ware had his opportunity as well.
Again and got hurt again. I guess all I'm saying is
Best abilities.
I don't think
availability.
there you go, exactly. And I don't think that the Kansas City backfield is something. I mean, it's obviously something to invest in, yes. How much, I think, it becomes the question.
But they don't have a lot of money, and they need to save some of that to re-sign Tyreek Hill then next year. Why
Which
not? Damian
makes-
Williams is balling out. Like,
which
why
makes a cheap
spend more
rookie
money?
Which makes a cheap rookie real nice late
Like
round.
Benny Snells. I just fucking said that.
and to drink, that means a lot from you, being the Florida fan. So I'm really feeling the love. Thank you.
I hate it. Like, I wish Florida would put out a fucking good dude. I love Dalvin Cook. He was my 101 a couple of years ago. Like, people gave me shit for that too. That's a Florida State guy. Like, I like the guys who I like. Maybe it's because I see them more often and fucking get to watch them go from freshman on. But shit, give me some Benny Snell, especially the damn Chiefs. Holy shit, that's easy.
Gabe, I feel like you have some strong feelings about this.
Bring it.
The Damian Williams thing?
Yes.
No, I don't hate Benny Snell.
No, Damian Williams is what I'm talking about.
Okay. I just don't get it, I guess. I don't know. He exists in Kansas City, and that's a bonus for those who own him currently. But like, why would you? What are you betting on? Like, I don't get that. Like
That he remains the guy. Like, he's a sell to you then.
Massively.
Early second. That's okay. That's enough.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
I would imagine. I would
you're
imagine
betting
that
on somebody
Damian
coming
Williams. I would imagine that Damian Williams is a 5th, 6th, 7th running back on your roster. Probably, unless you just got
Sure.
riddled with bad luck. I don't know. Like where is Damian Williams?
A lot of people, even in Dynasty, you picked them up on a waivers. Like,
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, what do you have to lose here? Like, I don't know. Like, are we looking at a D'Angelo Williams season with the Steelers? Is that what we're kind of hoping for? Because that was incredibly rare. I understand that the Kansas City offense is elite this year, and there's certainly room for regression as things happen. There's also an NFL draft ahead of us. There's also,
free
agency ahead of us. I just don't understand putting so much weight on a dude that I think people are really, really catching on to the running backs don't matter thing with the release of Kareem Hunt, and then the immediate success of Damian Williams. I'm not ready. Like,
sure.
Where is there an ADP, J Mike? Like, is he literally going like top, I don't know, 80 or something?
So
I'm gonna blow your mind because I'm gonna pull up January ADP, and I would guarantee he's got to be top 80.
And that's just bonkers.
If like the Chiefs don't have a ton of money, obviously that defense needs to get better, right? Maybe let's improve the O-line to protect Patrick Mahomes. We're going into next year. They don't sign Spencer Ware, so you're looking at Damian Williams, the who would then be the second year in. Is it Darrell Williams, however you want to fucking say it, and that's it. That's it, right? So what's to say them from keeping that? I'm gonna stay on J Mike's side so he wins the bet, and let's say a 4th round pick on Benny Snell or whoever you want to say in there just to bring another guy in and let Damien Williams go ahead and run that because they need to save that money. Running back wise, they don't have free agent wise, they don't have the money to bring in Lev Bell. So I think Tev Coleman probably, if he gets more money, won't be from the Chiefs. Who are we looking at then? Like maybe Lamar Miller gets cut for a little bit cheaper. Like, and Damien Williams already doing what he does for that money. So if you're gonna give me the RB1 on the Chiefs offense, I'm sorry, Mahomes is gonna throw for another 5,050 next year. I believe it. Like I think he can only get better. I get the regression, but I don't see it there. Give me that RB1 on that team. Yes, please. For a guy that I just picked up on waivers on a fucking dynasty, like a 30-man roster, and I just picked them up. You can keep your first round pick where I'm going to take what? Benny Snell at the end of the first? Like, fuck.
It's kind of a paradoxical argument though, because the whole thing is that the running back doesn't matter, and that Damien Williams jumped in because running backs don't matter, and he jumped into a prolific offense. It almost doesn't matter who is landing there. Benny Snell, sure. If Damien Williams hops off the field for one fucking play and Benny Snell jumps in and runs one for 75 yards, who's going to play the next drive? Like, I'm just saying that it's very, very thin ice that Damien Williams is walking on, and that dynasty owners are walking on. If you plan to go in with him as, sure, you got him for free, whatever. If he's still your RB 5, 6, 7, and you just keep him, fine. But I still think that you could get some capital out of that. And I think you're missing the opportunity this off season, especially before free agency. And maybe you can get past free agency, I'm sure, but the draft, at least, I think you should sell before that.
To Gabe's point, he also only had barely over 400 all-purpose yards last season before we get too excited about him.
On what team was that, Bobby?
That was on the Chiefs.
Last year?
Yeah, in 2018, Damien Williams, granted he played, I think it was 3 games, something like that, or he started 3 games.
You 2017, Bobby.
I don't know. In 2017, he was also barely over 400 yards or something, maybe even barely over 300.
On the Dolphins with crazy ass eyes, fucking Gase.
Yeah,
like come on.
And he will be 27 entering next season, and his his career year was 416 yards and 6 touchdowns. I mean,
on the Dolphins, like my team fucking sucks. Thanks for bringing that up again. Let's move on. Like the Chiefs, like obviously that's way better.
No, that was on the Chiefs. His career year was 416 all-purpose yards and 6 touchdowns.
As a backup, then he got the real role.
Yeah.
Gabe, you want a 2020 first or a late 19 first for Damien Williams? Random 2020 or the late 19 first? You want to sell him? Go ahead and sell him to me.
I'd rather have the 2020 for sure. Yeah, why not? Okay. You pick him off waivers.
Random. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because I think a random 20 isn't, wait, you said late 19 or random 2020? Isn't a random 2020 just automatically better than any like 19 anything?
Not
any fucking ever known to man.
For how Twitter is putting it, at least, as far as Twitter's putting it, you know. I don't know.
I'd smash accept on any first for Damien Williams.
Becca, just a quick heads up, Becca. Before somebody
I get your argument though, too, Drink. I'm just saying.
Before someone signs you as a free agent to
Gabe just fighted me.
I already got a message about it.
No way.
Nice. That is the power of the chat. That doesn't even fucking exist. I can't get into it.
Look, man,
we have to find this chat and read it.
What happened?
If I try,
Becca can't find it either.
I can't either. But
I told you.
Listen, the chat is on YouTube. So it literally, if you go to the YouTube link,
none of those links worked earlier. Like I'm literally on my fucking phone. You messed it up. The links don't work.
Go on your computer. Look at your computer and click on the YouTube link.
I have people on my
side. Chat.
I got you, Gabe.
Everyone else gets into the chat. They actually get it.
I mean, just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Anywho,
YouTube.
So what Zach said, just to try to put a nail in the coffin to the Damien Williams talk, he says he wants to see Miles Sanders from Penn State get drafted to Kansas City, and then we can just stop talking about Damien Williams. And I say to that, Here,
Because we know he'll be the guy. Got it.
right.
Sanders is trash. Don't draft him.
That's
Trash
that.
is strong. Sorry.
I don't even remember the point that I was going to.
Meh on Bobby's scale. I don't know if it works for running backs too.
It can work any
It
way
can
you want it
work.
to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Becca, I was going to make some sort of funny point about
I ruined it.
what you should do once you actually get to Dynasty League, but never mind. It's
Oh no, tell me. Do you
I've
forget?
lost it.
Oh,
The thrill is
damn
gone.
it. Well, if you remember, you message me immediately.
I got you.
I want to hear
I
it.
got you. Yes, ma'am. Gabe, I think we're out of bullets.
He's not remembering.
I will actually.
Will you?
Good. I just opened my last beer.
J Mike,
so
do you
I
have
can't
an
get up
opinion
again.
about Damian Williams, real quick, before you try to
Kill it.
I would say that if I have him on my team currently, I would love to sell him to someone who is very excited to acquire him. If
You need a better team.
I'm not actively buying him, period.
That's a
I'm just
good
not-
point.
Can you wait to release this episode before I sell him on my 14-teamer? You know, just hold it off a little bit, and then I'll sell him.
You've got
and it'll be-
you got like 7 hours.
No, you don't have that much. You've got about probably 30 to 40 minutes after
That's
Gabe
right.
hits the.
You guys
end.
don't edit
But
at all.
Yeah,
No.
most of my 14-teamers probably already in the chat, so I'm already screwed.
No, it goes straight from live consumption, straight to the people in about 30 to 45 minutes.
See, that's
So-
your fault. You told people you're going to be on here.
You did, Bobby. You ruined the surprise.
That is our show. Like literally the people viewing were Becca's clan and Bobby's league.
Matt in the
Bobby,
chat.
I couldn't buy any Rosen. I tried.
You gotta try harder, man. You gotta try
Okay.
harder.
Yeah,
M-
fuck
Matt-
Addison. I mean, you're a cool guy. I didn't mean fuck you. I don't even know you. You're a cool guy. I like you. Kind of. You seem all right. I told you.
Jason,
so.
I like you
Here.
too.
Hey, Mike.
All right.
You hit quit already, right? Or stop?
Nope, I didn't
Fuck.
quit already.
I know you're not in charge.
Too great with the
Just mute me. Fuck.
Matt in the chat before we close out here. He said, "We are starting an FF Statistics Dynasty League. Keep your tips to yourself. Keep Becca in the dark." So
Hey, give me double tips now. You have to give me double.
Hey, decline that invitation. Just saying.
uh,
Jump out.
Well,
And
you hear
we
that, Matt?
just
Maybe I'll
you.
decline.
Yep.
we
Boom.
just watched Jesse Reeves get fired live in the chat by Matt. This is epic. This is history in the making right now. Very good. So Gabe, I think that I think that we can close down the bar, sir.
Are we ready?
Fuck.
I think it is time.
All right. This has been
It's about
wonderful,
96
man.
96 minutes. Sheesh.
Hey, that's never enough.
Who's keeping track?
Exactly.
I'll just mute myself. I'm sorry.
Don't do it. Everything's quiet. Who's supposed to talk now?
I don't know what just happened. Anywho, we will
2019.
Gabe's freaking out.
The open bar in 2019. We made it. We're here. We are so happy to be back. J Mike, my dude. This has been absolutely wonderful to be back with you, my man. I can't describe that enough. And to be able to share it with you, Jason, and Becca, to meet you for the first time has been wonderful. And to see you again, Jason, from the grab bag days. You know that.
Whoa. Sorry, go ahead.
And Bobby, my dude. Hey, by the way, we gotta talk. We gotta talk New York. We'll talk
Yeah.
New York when
You
we're
coming to visit?
off air. Yeah, because I don't want to give people my address. You know, of my
I'm coming.
my apartment on the 45th floor of the Upper East Side. Like I don't want them to delve that information
up.
to all of these listeners and viewers. No, this has been absolutely wonderful. I'm so happy to be back. I want to give an opportunity to you three to share anything that you'd like to say besides anything related to the Utah Jazz. I'm not sure if any of you three are in any way
Ingles for life
of the Utah Jazz, but if you are, just saying, if you are, do not speak of them. Jason, we'll start with you. 2-drink minimum.
Oh shit!
He hits that exponentially. My man, what do you have to share?
I can't.
The sound.
I can't hold them all. There's the one over here, and those aren't the ones you guys counted before. But I had a blast as always when I fucking record, regardless of where I'm on. But you can find me on Super Flexible Podcast or at FF. Oh shit! Watch out. At FF underscore breakdown. Fantasy football breakdown, one boy at DFF swag. I just like to have fun and drink and have a real reason to tell my wife I'm going to drink on a Tuesday night. So appreciate you boys for having me. Cheers.
Jason, I just checked on Twitter for the FF. Oh shit, and I don't see anybody under that. So
You
just
have
saying.
to have it now.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to grab that one.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yep. I'm glad we ended because I'm out. I'm out of beers. Somebody else is up now.
The official Bronco Becca. Don't miss that important part of her handle. Bronco Becca.
With a K.
Not the Bronco part, but the
At Case Keenum is serviceable.
Confusing really fast. Becca, where can we find your
sorry.
work?
Oh,
We are going
Yep.
back. Where can we find things that you do on the interwebs?
so I work over at FF Statistics with Addison and Matt and Jesse, and everyone over there is awesome. We're actually having like a new thing coming soon that I'll be writing, so I'll wait for Addison to announce that officially out to the Twitterverse. So that'll be cool. I'm really excited about that. And I'm also really excited that this will be like my first Dynasty off season.
Let's go.
If everybody could just give me really good advice, that would be awesome. Yeah. And my Twitter handle, Bronco Becca, and it's BECKA. That's where the K is. It's in Becca.
None of that double K nonsense.
Oh, and I forgot to say one
BEKKA.
Go Jazz. Okay, I'm done.
Dang it. I really tried to
No.
squeeze by without that.
Technically, she didn't say Ingles, so
See, J-Mike and I, well,
Fuck, I said
as
it.
far as history goes, you know, Lakers, Spurs, like we really, really do not feel comfortable with the Jazz looking to be successful again.
Well, I feel bad
Just
for you then because it's
lots of-
pretty great.
Lots of championships in San Antonio, lots of championships in LA,
Yep.
lots of snow in Utah.
Yeah. Actually,
comparable.
all the snow melted from my driveway today. It's gone.
Rebecca, don't mention the Jags. Bobby's turn.
Wait, I'm going to talk
Not-
at the same time I have my cup, so now I know all the YouTube people can see Joe Ingles. He was on our podcast.
You
you
said
guys.
it. You said it.
He was on
Our
the
first- our
podcast.
first
That's
Mute that
unreal.
part.
Our
Cut
first
it.
celebrity. That's what's up.
Edit it. Edit that out.
Bobby. You got to bring Gabi back. How did Gabi not catch on? Too
I forgot.
immature?
I forgot about Kabi, to be honest.
Too immature?
So yeah, you can find me at 2QBs at Dynasty League Football, and you'll also find me with a My Little Pony avatar for a month, courtesy of this show and James Coutulis. Shout out to Kylo Lebrecht, who will also have a My Little Pony avatar for a week, courtesy of this show.
Ouch.
And Derek Brown, who was the one who I forgot earlier, courtesy of this show again, he will have a My Little Pony avatar for a month. So just causing all kinds of My Little Pony avatars on Twitter. That's my regular role. Maybe change my Twitter handle to Robert Elizabeth Pony. We'll see. If not, you can find me at Rekt Fantasy. That's REKED Fantasy.
Okay, wait. ELIZABETA. Nope, you can't do it. You can fit in Robert Elizabeth, but you cannot fit the pony. I've tried.
I can't do it without the pony.
Well, I don't know. You're gonna have to think of something. You're gonna have to say Bob Liz Pony.
I'll think about it.
Oh, it's not as good.
It's
Maybe-
kind of funny. I mean,
Maybe for the month that I have the My Little Pony avatar, I'll change my
I'm just
Twitter
saying it
handle
won't
to
fit in the
Bob
handle
Pony.
just because I've gone
I'm
through
taking Rex
trials and
Fantasy.
tribulations. All right. This has
Feeling
been
it.
absolutely fabulous. Jay, Mike, I'm sure you have some things to share, about the University of Kentucky. We haven't had a chance to talk about their bowl game yet, right?
Hey, what's up, Penn State? How y'all
you wanna
looking with
flex?
them L's? Let's go. Yeah, Kentucky beat Penn State in the bowl game. That was fantastic. Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about what's going forward. First of all, to our guests, we are humbled to have you. Thank you guys for joining us. Jason, extra special shout out to you as I use your actual first name for having me on your podcast a few weeks back.
At Superflex Pod, I don't think I said that.
No,
At
you did not.
Minimum.
That was exactly what I was
going
going
to.
to.
It's cool. I'm just going to drink and have fun.
That's what's up. And we appreciate you guys again for joining us. To everybody in the chat, man, y'all lit it up. You guys were A+ here in 2019.
That shit don't exist.
The open bar continues as usual. We've got some fun coming up for you guys in the coming months. We've got a lot of guests already booked and ready to come on, which is atypical for us to be so prepared. But we've got a lot of guests already pegged to come on, a lot of new faces, folks that haven't been to the bar yet. So you'll be excited to see those folks, get a lot of fun perspective, and just have a ball. As you guys know, the open bar is a place where you can come, have a ball, chop it up, and be yourself. And we enjoy bringing it to you. So to everyone who's checking us out via podcast, thank you guys for listening to that, whether it be on Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, whatever podcatcher that you have, including Spotify. Yes, the open bar is on Spotify. You can check us out there as well. And I believe that is that. You can find the show's handle on Twitter at the Open Bar FP, as in fake pigskin. What up, Jared? What up to the rest of the fake pigskin crew? You can find my co-host Gabe Gearing on Twitter. He's actually just under G2, but it's at FFManBun. And you can find me on Twitter at JMikeCheck, at JMICCheck. Again, thank you to everybody who shows love, who shows support, who retweets, who's given us a 5-star rating, a 1-star rating, whatever it may be. We appreciate you guys. Gabe, take us home.
Did you mention the dummies bit that you do?
No, I didn't.
Dummy Blitz. Subscribe.
I'm gonna give us a little rewind action here and allow you to speak about that, because it's important to me and it's important to you and it's important to those who need to know things.
Must listen.
That's a fact. So extra special shout out to the gentleman over at the Dynasty Dummies who let me ride with them, who allowed me to call myself a dummy alongside with them. Kyle Lebrecht, Zach Reed, and Riley Bymath.
Sorry. Keep going.
You know what?
They allow me to be me.
I'm muting his ass. J-Mike, speak.
They allow me to be me, to have a lot of fun with them. But go check out that feed with the Dynasty Dummies. Essentially, I do a little bit. Typically, it's on Monday nights or Tuesdays. It's called the Dummy Blitz. And we just do 15 minutes of the comings and goings and whatnot from fantasy. That will be starting back up for off season. A lot of life happened this week, which did not happen for me in terms of the show, but it's a lot of fun. And I've got some more special news coming up with the Dummies, which should be coming out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes. But again, that's that. At Dynasty Dummies, at Tacit Assassin 13, at Caleb Breck, at DTC_Riley B. Hashtag 15 and out. 15 and out for the Blitz. That's that. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
The news piece, y'all got to be waiting for that, because your boy doesn't even know about that news piece. So that must be highly sought after in terms of information. Looking forward to whatever you do, J-Mike. looking forward to whatever y'all do in 2019. Y'all all do some good things, whether you're with us in this chat, whether you're in the non-existent YouTube chat or listening on this podcast. Y'all are all doing big things in 2019. If you need a podcast intro, I do those. It's about all I do anymore. J Mike, stop it.
We in here, live chat. It exists.
Wait, are you making that right now? Hey,
It exists.
I know. How does he have that many accounts to just type through?
I can't see it. It's all blurry at this point. I don't believe it.
That's why my Christmas tree is so dim. All the electricity runs to my 15 computers here.
Oh my gosh.
Burner
Wow.
accounts. I told you it exists. It exists. Of
talking
course,
about-
nobody's typing now when I need them to in a
They're
bad
talking
way.
Talking
I don't
about,
believe it.
talking about Benson.
Yeah, of
Um,
course they're talking about Ben Simmons. They're trying to get at me, and it's working.
That's my palm tree Christmas tree, by the way.
I meant to mention, Becca, by the way, this
cool.
I enjoyed all y'all on here, but Becca, your humor was so much
You were way
fun,
better.
and you need to come on to the open bar more often. Just mentioning that little tidbit. Bobby
Okay.
is he's here every like month, and you know, to drink, you're
Don't mind me.
you are the
Sure.
open bar.
My man.
Yeah.
Jason's such a boss.
No, we appreciate all y'all hanging with us tonight and
My wife's gonna kill me.
the episodes we done. We're excited about 2019 and what we're bringing to the table, and J Mike and I literally do not know what that is, but we appreciate y'all being with us so far. Until then, J Mike, we're gonna be here next week, right?
That's a fact.
Okay.
Guests already booked and everything.
Okay, perfect.
Why can't I see the chat? Damn it!
Because it doesn't exist,
It's
Becca.
not real,
I want to
Becca.
read it.
All
Don't
right.
believe him.
We are going to
Someone
put
screenshot it
our
for me.
drinks up, whatever
Oh, shit.
those may be.
I'm empty.
Camera of sorts. And we're going to see y'all next week around 9:30 Eastern on a Tuesday. And we're looking forward to it.
Can't do
And-
it. They're all empty.
And I don't think we can outdrink the minimum. I'm
2
serious.
drinks a champ.
Can I change
Seriously,
my name?
I think that we need to. That'd be cool if they
D-Bro.
kept records
D-Bro,
of like.
where you
who-
at, bro?
I
Where you
know,
at,
yeah.
bro?
D-Bro goes through that whiskey bottle. I've seen Jake go
I'm challenging.
through some glasses before as well, but man,
Can we
I don't
get
know.
Can we get an all
Two drink?
drunk-
You might. Okay, you
open?
might be it. You might be it. We're
Yes!
giving J Mike. Can we give him the crown? Just like
Oh
until
shit!
someone comes for it.
I got it.
If you want to crown him, then crown him. He is
D-Bro.
who I thought he was.
Debo and Jake, step your fucking game up. This isn't a crown. I should stop.
I might be leaving someone out. I don't know. I don't know who's been. I don't know, drinking more.
I
than
don't
that.
have
But
a
anyways,
crown
we're gonna
here.
see. Hey, I'm gonna meet your ass again. All right. We'll see y'all next week. And deuces.